Hey everybody, it's Goblin X, and welcome back to another premiere draft of Secrets of Strixhaven with one Alchemy card added to each pack. Without further ado, let's get into the pack one. Pick one. We have a Strixhaven Sky Coach here, an excellent colorless spell you can fit into any deck as mana fixing. Even the two color decks, it's really solid in. Just a good stat line for the cost. So even if you're like aggressive like Silver Quill or Lorehold, this card's pretty good, and it's obviously excellent if you're three or more colors. So like taking the Strixhaven Sky Coach here is something that will definitely make the cut no matter what, but there are some powerful cards for specific archetypes, a couple Quandrix cards with Mind into Matter and Quandrix Charm, and then of course the new Alchemy Hotness, the Glorifying Verse here. This card's pretty fun because the first time that you target one of your creatures, you get a copy of this into your hand, then you can play that second copy, and then if you target another creature, you get two copies into your hand because you have two of them on the board, and it just gets wider and wider and wider. You can get a million of those out, which is pretty fun, but again, a lot more narrow than the Strixhaven Sky Coach. Pick two, great pack here, really. I'm going to go for the variable solutions, grab the fun alchemy card. This is a green and X to do a bunch of different things. Basically, you want to spend at least 5 mana total, so make sure that X is 4 or more. That way you get all of these abilities, you gain 2 life, you get a random creature, you make your opponent sack an artifact, and you get a random land. But yeah, really sweet value off of just the one spell. Other great cards here are really efficient removal spells like a Braid and Foolish Fate. Those are excellent, and Stress Stream I think is even better than those. It's a bit more expensive, but it's a removal spell and a draw spell together. It's a good 2-for-1, so it's a really excellent pack, but we'll go variable solutions on that one. Pick number 3. The Alchemy card is pretty fun here. Looks better for aggressive strategies. It keeps escaping from your graveyard and getting bigger. Right now, we're definitely not going to be an aggro deck from the look of our first two picks. We have a piece of mana fixing and a green spell, and the green decks in the format are not aggressive. We could take Essence Scatter to go towards green-blue, go towards Quandrix, or Grapple with Death to go towards green-black, going towards Witherbloom. I like Visionary's Dance a lot as well if we want to go green-blue-red, but that's obviously very color restrictive pretty early. I think I'll grab a Grapple with Death here this time around. We haven't done Witherbloom in a long while, so if it's open, that could be a fun route to take. Although pick 4, Potioner's Trove is really good for these splashy multicolored decks. It is going to fix your mana for any of your Converge cards or any of your splashed in cards, and it's going to gain you a good chunk of life against aggressive strategies over time. We'll take the Potioner's Trove here. Pick number 5 now. Tome Blast is a very solid removal spell. Can clear out 2 things with it. We have 2 colorless spells here, so we're still really not tied to any specific color, and if we do play all 5 colors, then obviously Tome Blast will be good. Pick number 6 now, Sundering Archaic for the big Converge top-end spell, a 3/3 and exile one of your opponent's creatures. Pick number 7, Startled Relic Sloth, pretty late here for Lorehold, also Snooping Page for Silver Quill, but we do have a Tome Blast towards Lorehold and nothing towards Silver Quill right now. We could also take a Noxious Newt because we do have a couple of green cards. That doesn't fix mana, it just ramps it. There's a bunch of reasonable stuff. Now having 3 colorless spells, I'm actually pretty cool with the Sloth, weirdly. Pick 8, we got a dual land and we got a Stirring Honormancer. Honormancer is really good in the top end for Silver Quill. It's kind of hard to cast in like a 4 or 5 color deck, but still good value there too if we get really good fixing. We're definitely not going to become a dedicated Silver Quill deck by the end of this. I think I'll just take the dual land here. Also, that red draw spell is pretty decent in 5 color though. Discard 1, draw 2, get a treasure token. Very weak pack for pick 9. Same with pick 10, although Hydro Channeler, if blue is a core color, can fix off-color instants and sorceries in. You can also take a Spirit Mascot. We've got that Relic Sloth. Relic Sloth and Spirit Mascot towards Lorehold now. You know what? I'll go for that. We don't have a single blue card yet. And then the Remnant could be good in Lorehold. It's going to keep coming back from the grave. Triggering all the Leave the Graveyard cards. Stand Up for Yourself, also decent. We only have 2 removal spells right now. I'm going to go for the Remnant here. Might actually just become a Lorehold deck. I don't think that's impossible. Living history for Lorehold. Maybe that's where it's at in this pod. Pack 2, pick 1. What do we see? Phoenix of Iteration's an insane card. This card, like, single-handedly won so many games in our last Prismari deck. It gets bigger every time you cast any instant or sorcery, even when it's in your graveyard. And then if you cast a 5-mana instant or sorcery, you bring it back from your graveyard to the board. Super silly. Ambitious Augmenter's also quite good. But we're like red-white. We've got a lot of red and white, so we could go like red-white-blue here again and use a Phoenix. I'm going to take that Phoenix here. Probably go like red-white-blue. We can still splash in variable solutions off of Trove and Skycoach style cards. Pack 2, pick 2. Another Tome Blast is an excellent one. Protect ourselves in the early game. And it's a 5-mana instant or sorcery for the Phoenix in the late game. The rares are pretty good too. Feed the Bog and Wild Growth Archaic. Although Feed the Bog, you need to be a creature-heavy deck to use it, but it can just absolutely crush in the end game. Reanimating all the creatures in your grave and buffing them up a ton. But we'll take Tome Blast here for what we're doing. Pick 3. Potioner's Trove and Arcane Omens make a lot of sense here for our Convergy strats. There is also Blood Age Muster, which would be really fun if we stick as much to Lorehold as we can. But we really have to have our synergy going. This doesn't do anything unless we're having cards leave our graveyard. But if we are having cards leave our graveyard, we're getting 2/2s all the time. Various abilities. So pretty fun. But I think we should just take Arcane Omens here. Be on that Jeskai 5-color deck. There's the Divergent equation for that strategy. Oof, double Potioner's Trove getting past here for these. A little bit rough. Blue-red duel, Orisa, Rebel Rouser. A lot of good options. I'm going to go blue-red duel. Pick 6, red-white duel. Just like perfect on color duel. And there's actually another Arcane Omens too. We'll go for another Omens. Black-white duel. Or Rebel Rouser. I guess Wander Off is technically an option too. Just not an exciting one. I do need to get a lot more non-land playables because all these Lorehold cards are not really going to be good for the 5-color. Let's grab the Rebel Rouser. That will actually be pretty decent. Lorecaster's really nice at the top of the curve, or Elemental Mascot's decent in the middle. I'm going to go Lorecaster here. Seize the Spoils now is a good one to draw into our better spells and get a treasure token to help them out. Now we can go ahead and take one of those Elemental Mascots. I don't think we're getting any Potioner's Troves back, but that would be so exciting if we did. Did get that Lorehold rare back, but I think I'd take Hydro Channeler at this point. With all of our off-color cards being instants and sorceries, we can just be blue-red with Hydro Channeler splashes, technically. Yeah, I think this was one of the Potioner's Trove packs. Unfortunate. Strife Knight's a solid one. So we're at 17 non-land cards now. With more options we could throw in. Yeah, we're doing decent. Just Prismari Spellslinger with a couple Converge splashes. Ooh, Inspiring Easel is a card that has scared the heck out of me when my opponents play this thing. You keep tapping it and making some of your instants and sorceries in hand, gain the ability to duplicate them for a blue and a red. So like turn all your removal spells into double removal spells and the like. We don't actually have a ton of spells to work with, and I mean I could double Arcane Omens for 7 mana, but why would I do that? I could double Tome Blast, double Variable Solutions. Yeah, I think I'll still take the easel. It's just the coolest card by a lot. Okay, we'll play an Arc of Hunger. Huge card draw engine, easy splash for this deck. Terramorphic. There's no good instants or sorceries in here, so yeah, Terramorphic it is. Strong like Silver Quill aggro card, but that's not what we're doing. Second Arc of Hunger, okay. Yeah. Well, we could have just stuck pure Lorehold the whole time and we would have gotten like such a hookup in this last pack. It's kind of crazy. Another Tome Blast. Partner Johnny's response is also really reasonable. A run behind. I would like to have a removal spell that can like deal with the bigger stuff, even if it is just for a second. I think I'll grab the Johnny's response. Now that I got double arc too. Definitely putting more white in here. Here's a heated argument now. There we go. Get the big spells for the Inspiring Easel and the Phoenix. Transcendent Archaic. This is now 23 non-land cards. Next card we take, we can cut Spellbook Seeker. Mana's going to be a bit awkward. We have 3 mana-fixing lands and 2 mana-fixing spells. 1 treasure token card. I don't think I'll play any of these. Yeah, I'll just rare draft for Vault Progress. I guess I'd rather play a Page than a Spellbook Seeker. Sure. I mean, I could maybe even just play an 18th land instead. It's definitely a deck that can do it. We have a ton of stuff at 5 mana or more. Okay stuff. Full Interceptor's the best card, but we're not that heavy on white that we're ever playing it early. Just take a Painter. I don't think I'll be running it. Do I have enough flashback that I'm excited about the Spade here? I mean, it's the only thing I might play. I don't think I do, though. It's just double Tome Blast, triple Tome Blast. Whoa. Okay, we'll cut a page for a third Tome Blast. Okay. I don't hate how this draft went. It's a very reasonable Converge mush pile. Just one of the better decks in the format. That said, like the way that the later half of like the second and the third pack went, if we just stuck to pure Lorehold the whole draft, I think we probably would have had just a more consistently good deck. But this is still going to be a powerful one. It's going to be a fun one. I am not mad about it. Yeah, this looks really nice to me. Let's see if we can make that mana base any more consistent. We have 13 red cards, 5 blue. So 7 red, 4 blue, and a Terramorphic, so it's like a 8/5. I guess I'm not as deep into blue as I thought. I'm just really high on red. 3 white cards. We got 3 plains. Let's cut out plains for another blue. 2 black cards, 1 green. So we got the 1 swamp, the 1 forest. We can Terramorphic out. Yep, makes sense. And we have Sky Coach as well, so we need 1 of each basic. All right, looks good to me. We'll call it a deck here. Hop into the gameplay. See how far this one can take us. All right, here we are on the draw for game 1 against Lorehold. They start with Molten Core Maestro. All right, so they immediately start with a Scary Rare. We have not drawn any of our 3 Tome Blasts, so we cannot kill that immediately. So it's going to keep getting bigger every time they cast any instant or sorcery. Okay. We do have our own Terrifying Rare with our Rebel Rouser, or not our Rebel Rouser, our Phoenix of Iteration. Got my cards mixed up because I'm casting Rebel Rouser right now. Boop. Flow state, look at the top 3, put 1 in a hand. They've got their Potioner's Trove out to be gaining a couple life every turn if they're not spending that mana. Just going to really help them win the race. Pursue the past. Yep, that Maestro's going crazy. Down to 14. The fashionably late Terramorphic. We're probably grabbing the white for a Johnny's response. Hydro Channeler can get either color if it sticks around. But I think it's going to be more important to make sure that the Maestro dies here than that we get a random creature off variable solutions. Although the variable solutions will blow up their Potioner's Trove too, which is going to be sweet. That is a nightmare. Got the Lorehold Titan. Drains something for 2 every turn. That might just do us in. Variable solutions can't kill that because it's going to kill the Trove. So now I have to a Johnny's response that. Take the Maestro damage. I'm already down to 10. They get to kill the Hydro Channeler before I kill it too. And they get to have all their mana untapped by the time I play the response because it's only around during their turn, so it's only around when their mana's up. Okay. Killed Big Mythic Titan, but the rare Maestro is still killing us. Snarl Song for all 5 colors, plus get a bunch of mana back out of the Maestro. We are pretty dead. I mean, we've got 1 card in hand, it's not even castable. Try another uncastable card. Alright, fair enough. Got bombed out pretty hard by Maestro plus Mythic Titan, and that'll be 0-1 heading into game 2. Alright, here we are on the draw again for game 2. Like this hand a lot. This hand immediately would have had a way better chance of winning last game because we would have Tome Blasted the Maestro before it got any bigger. And taken 0 damage from that. Yeah, no, last game would have lasted so much longer if this was the opener. We wouldn't have taken any damage till they played the Titan thing. Well, since they already Rampant Growth with the first year, we don't really need to Tome Blast it, so let's just get the blue source out. Muse Secret, it's a better Tome Blast target. I've already got plenty of lands in my hand, I don't need to play Sky Coach right now. We just roll with a Tome Blast, that's fine. Might just get Mythic'd out of it twice in a row. And every single turn for the rest of the game, they get 2+1/+1 counters onto all of their creatures. It's very hard to beat that. Seize the spoils, do some digging. Don't find much. Proctor's Gaze, bounce the Channeler, and ramp up. In theory, if we find our Johnny's response, we clear them out of creatures for now. That is a land. Let's Strife Knight. I think we're ready to go like chump with Hydro Channeler, discard a card, draw a card here. Because if I take one more hit, I'm dead to a Tome Blast. Which is a very common card for green, blue, red decks to play. Dig. Find a land, draw for turn, and omens. But I need to affect the board right now. Then out some lands from our deck. I shouldn't have let Auto Tapper do that. I think that means I have to play a Plains instead of Terramorphic. The plan there was to like Sky Coach plus Terramorphic. We could thin 2 lands out of the deck to be slightly more likely to draw a spell. And then I get to go block here, discard a card, draw a card. And if we hit a Johnny's response, we kill the 9/9. Even with Terramorphic for a tap land, we could have a white and 1-up if I hadn't spent the white on Sky Coach, but it's just mana. It is just not happening. We don't have any board wipe in the deck, so I don't think there's any draw that lives one more turn. Get a bajillion mana and draw a card. Flashback, get a bajillion more mana and draw another card. It's pretty cool. And then the lightning bolts creature. They've already cast way more than 3 spells, though, so they don't get the lightning bolt this turn. Ooh, man, if we actually did have a board wipe, we'd punish them a lot for that. They went so wide there. But unfortunately, we do not have the crazy mythics we've been running up against. That is 0-2 heading to game 3. All right, here we are on the draw. 3 for 3 on the draw every game. See how this one goes for us. Hopefully we can dodge bombs this time at least. This hand is not great. So I think even if we like dodge bombers, we might have some struggles, but we'll see. Turn 1 first year on the play. So they can just have 4 mana while I have 2 lands on board, as you do. Definitely a rough start. One time, don't hit the land. It's less than a 50-50. Let's go. They missed it. No draw from Tablet of Discovery. We do have a Mindful Biomancer to drop. Casually got access to 5 mana while we have 2. Here's our 3rd mana. Let's Rubble Rouser and try to catch up. For instance, in sorceries, thanks to Tableau Discovery, they do actually have 7 mana already, which is insane. Alright, they're going to wander off the Rubble Rouser. 2 cards left in their hand. They're just going to buff Biomancer and slap us. Well, can't play in a removal this turn since they killed the Rubble Rouser, so we just drop down the Mascot and pass. And that just stops a 1 damage a turn, though we keep taking the Biomancer damage. Title Mage. Draw a card, discard a card every turn. Okay, they're down to 1 card in their hand. We've got removal for one of their big creatures, and then when we hit the 6th mana, we have the Archaic for the other one. Ooh, there's a Tome Blast. I think if we draw Tome Blast, then we're supposed to Tome Blast the Biomancer while they're tapped out of buffing it, because they could untap and then hit us for 4 and still have the mana to save it later. So this way I know I can kill that and the Title Mage, because I can kill Title Mage with Heated Argument no matter what I draw next turn. But I am going to be down to 5 now. And I'm not going to Divergent Equation 1 Tome Blast. So no spells during their turn. Oh lord, I go to 1 life. I don't think I can stabilize. This is probably the closest of all of our games. But I think the pressure of them being on the play with the amount of ramp that they had is just too much to recover from. So I can only survive if I hit the Archaic mana. And ideally it needs to be another color. Equation doesn't change that at all. Yeah, go to my turn. I mean, I guess I do go to 1. I am still alive. Because I did miscount. I'm at 2, not 1. Oh, Jesus. Wisdom of Ages. To get another 3/3. If I play a creature, I'm dead to Heated Argument, so I can't play a creature. So I have to Tome Blast the 1/1, then I need to Divergent Equation the Heated Argument to kill their 3/3. I have to find the white source for Arc of Hunger. Start gaining back life to get out of this heated thing. Lorecaster back the flyer thing. That's game. 0-3. We were overdue for a bad run, so I guess I'll take it. We've been having ridiculously good luck in all the competitive events. This kind of feels like how Secrets of Strixhaven has ran out for me in general. I think like we had a pretty rough win rate for the first like week or two of the set, and then it's like the arena direct shows up and we win a collector box on our very first run. We win the play booster boxes on our second run. We play a contender draft and immediately 7 win it. So like competitive Secrets of Strixhaven's going great, but I think our poor luck is just all stacking up in some of these little side events here. But I guess, I mean, even that is not true. We just had two 7 win Alchemy drafts in a row before this one. So, had to get some losses in here at some point. Yeah, I don't think this deck was great because it's a bit inconsistent with the mana and everything, but I certainly don't think it was nearly an 0-3 on average. I think the best deck we could have gotten out of this draft pod was to stick to Lorehold the whole time, but that's because like we ended up getting 2 of Hungers by the end of the draft. Couldn't have really foreseen that, but we could have definitely seen that like red was super open. Like obviously we ended up in red getting all this good stuff anyway. And if we just stuck to generic good Lorehold stuff like Mascot and Relic Sloth, then our lack of fixing wouldn't really matter. We'd have a more consistent deck and probably a better deck. So we definitely could have drafted a better deck out of this pod, but I don't think this was a particularly awful one. It's got a little bit of fixing in terms of the lands and the spells, and the vast majority of the spells are in red, so most of the spells will be decently castable most games. But we drew a little poorly. We had like Arc of Hungers we could never cast. There was a game where we had an Omens and a Variable Solutions we could never cast. And we certainly ran into some poor luck there. We were on the draw all 3 games, and we got bombed out the first couple by some really, really hard to beat mythics, like the crazy Lorehold Titan style cards. So, yeah, I think this is more variance than anything. I brought up that there are issues with this deck. It's probably a very average deck, like a 3-3 or a 4-3. A 5-color deck that loses a lot of points for the lack of consistency. Probably loses a couple games due to mana issues, but if we hit the right cards, I think this deck was really capable of doing some scary, scary stuff. It just did not pan out that way for us today. But fair enough, because things have been panning out so well in every other draft this week. It's kind of ridiculous. Get the poor luck out of the way here all in one draft so we can go back to a just huge streak of 7 runs again starting tomorrow. But that is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons and YouTube members for their support, as well as you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it and you're interested in seeing some more, you can always like, comment, and subscribe to tell the YouTube algorithm to send you some more in your recommended feed. If you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. And other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.